welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, the Lady Autist, also known on here as Tiffany Daniels. So today's subject is going to be real brief and is actually relatively new. I haven't necessarily really come across it until I came to Twitter, and that is going to be a new trolling method. We're going to talk about multiple accounts. We're going to talk about the make an inflammatory comment, then ghost and block. And we're going to talk about the constant changing of usernames after making an inflammatory comment so that it's hard for others to find you and block you. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, when Twitter kind of took off, we got this new wonderful tool that allows us to block and delete people. And then you have, of course, the dedicated trolls who went ahead and found their way around it. And we're just going to kind of go over a few of the things that I've noticed both in the actually autistic community and what I am definitely seeing a lot of with those who support JD and the Justice for JD hashtag. So I first started noticing this trend when we had a bunch of what we like to call in the actually autistic community martyr parents all of a sudden started to invade our hashtag and just spout extremely inflammatory nonsense. We're talking, you're not really autistic. That's what it began as. What are your intentions really? Are you really autistic? You're not autistic like my child, so shut your mouth. Just things that were designed to bait us, basically. Now, in that community, just because we all have been gaslit from the day we basically receive our diagnosis onward, we tend to have each other's backs when we notice that one of the other ones of us are being harassed on our own thread. So, what proceeded afterwards was a bunch of parents making inflammatory comments, harassing comments, even comments that were encouraging us to kill ourselves. So, of course, we would go and we would report them to Twitter. And then the next thing you know, a new name would come up. But it was the same speech patterns and basically the same message. So, that's where I've first encountered the making inflammatory comments, getting us riled up. Then, once we start defending back, they would then go ahead and then play the victims. One actually named Connie would go and whine about it on YouTube, how we were all attacking her after leaving inflammatory comments and making these accusatory statements. And then once they get reported, if their account would be suspended, then you would see another account pop up all of a sudden, and then the cycle would begin again. And some of the other things that I have noticed, and this is primarily in the JD community, is I have noticed the multiple accounts, where you've got people with multiple accounts that are coming in to attack us. And then you have, I don't know I'm gonna erase this one. I don't, because it sounds like a conspiracy. I mean, this is what AH claims that we're doing, so I'm not gonna go into that. So just nix that. Forget I said anything. Sorry, I don't want to sound like them. I don't want to sound like them. But anyways, it is the idea of where you try to ghost and block the trolls, but then they just come right back at you with another account under another name. Now that is something that we can actually find receipts on and prove. Now, another tactic that they use is they will go and make the inflammatory statement, and then before even the replies start, they will go and change their username so that when you go to block them, you can't find them. Thankfully, there's ways to defend against that. We'll get into that later. Another way that they do it is they'll make the inflammatory comment, and then they will block your account, and then they'll let you get in one reply, and then they'll block you, and then proceed to basically just lambast your one reply, and they'll get their little buddies in on it. So, trolls are basically trying to use this so that they can control the narrative. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make us look like the ones who are on the attack. They're trying to make it look like we are the ones that are acting with predatory behavior or acting with questionable motives. Basically, they're trying to make us look crazy, to be it all honest, because if they can show us as crazy, then that supports their narrative, if you know what I mean. So, there's a few ways around it other than just the very simple don't take the bait. One of them you all are already doing, which is sharing the screenshots. You can change your name, you can block us, but what you can't do is change what you tweeted and those of us who take screenshots for receipts. So that is a good way to expose exactly what was said, what was used to bait us, so that they can't simply get away with the whole they're attacking us for no reason. Other things that you can do is a lot of times they may change their handle, but they don't change what they have after the @ symbol. Like this Vicky person who keeps changing her name for whatever reason. I don't care. So that's usually a good way to identify them and get them blocked so you don't have to deal with their nonsense. Another way is report anything that you see that is harassing at all. Like, don't respond. Don't leave a comment for them to lambast and then block you. You get in and report them first when they're doing something inflammatory. Like if it even smells halfway like abuse. If there is name calling. If there is infantilizing, which they do to us autistics all the time. All the time. Just go ahead and block it and report it. Because showing the receipts, showing the screenshots, getting them out there puts the lie to this narrative that we are just out there to attack people. It puts lie to the narrative that, oh, all JD supporters are crazy just like him and they just want to attack people. They're basically trying to create this image so that their side can get the moral high ground. And these guys are desperate to get the moral high ground because, well, they don't have it. But anyways. Alright, well guys, that's all I've really got for this evening. I'm sorry if this was a little bit more rambling than usual. I haven't seen really any updates on the case. I will definitely keep you informed as those go on. Now, if you could, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the comments. We don't get very many views here, and the few views that we do get are few and far in between. Alright folks, I got a rest of a George Carlin special to watch, and then I will go ahead and see you all on social media. I appreciate your time this evening, and I hope you have a good one.